Trick Room is a very interesting move. Whilst it's active, the speed tiers are reversed, and if you're slower than the opposing Pokemon, you're going to move first. It is an incredibly hard tactic to pull off in single 6v6, but my opponent is going to give it a go anyway. Let's see how it goes. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we're about versus Glass Shadow from the Discord in the OU tier. Looking at the team, they got some threats. Is that a Trick Room team I spy, maybe? Maybe, could be a Trick Room team. So I think I might lead off with Lycanroc, because Lycanroc getting up a Stealth Rock is going to be important. Granted, the Hatterene is right there, but that's besides the point. So I might lead off with Lycanroc. I think they go into Hatterene to put the Stealth Rocks, actually. So I think I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lead off with Hydreigon and go for a fast U-turn on whatever they lead with, because I am unsure onto what they're going to lead. They could lead Torkoal, Hatterene to counter my Lycanroc lead, or they could even lead Cresselia, get the screens up. You know, it could be either of those things. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Glass Shadow. It's going to be a fun one, I'm sure. They lead with Hatterene as expected, as we lead off with Hydreigon. Well, I say as expected. One of the things we expect them to lead off with anyway. So obviously this is not a favorable matchup for my Hydreigon. We can't really touch this thing. So I'm going to go for a U-turn and get out of there. They probably, if I had to guess, looking at the team, set up a Trick Room right now. So I'm tempted to go into something else that can handle Hatterene. And the only thing I really have to handle Hatterene is probably my own Hatterene, to be honest with you. I'm looking at their team and I'm thinking King Gambit's a problem. But other than that, Hatterene actually puts in a lot of work. Oh, the Hoopron Band is a problem as well, to be fair. But let's see what we can do here. So let's go ahead and go into my Hatterene first. I think if Hatterene's doing anything at all, it's going to be blocking their Hatterene. So let's see how this plays out. They do go for a Trick Room. So it's an interesting Trick Room team that we've got to face off against today, which is pretty cool. I love Trick Room. It's always a fun time. So what I'm going to do now is expecting them to either switch into Hooper or King Gambit, I would say, or the Torkoal. I'm going to go for a Calm Mind. I'm going to start setting up some Calm Minds, and I'm going to try and punch some holes in their team with my Hatterene and also stall out the Trick Room. So they do go for a Healing Wish, which is very interesting. So what are they going to bring in right now? I'm not sure why they would Healing Wish so early, but I guess if they want to get something in, then fair enough. But yeah, let's just go for a Calm Mind real quick as they go for a Healing Wish and commit. In comes the King Gambit. So this thing is obviously a threat to us. It can Iron Head us in the face. We've got that Supreme Overlord coming through as well, which is going to be very beneficial to them. Maybe Hatterene's not the best Pokemon to have in right now. I'm leaning towards switching into maybe the likes of the Gyarados. We don't have Intimidate, unfortunately. We have Moxie, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And maybe we could go for a Draining Kiss. I'm pretty sure we outspeed in the Trick Room, so we could go for a Draining Kiss real quick and get some damage off, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a Draining Kiss. We do outspeed in the Trick Room, so we get a little bit of damage off on them as they probably go. Yeah, they go for an Iron Head, and that nearly takes us out. Very nearly takes us out. So Leftovers are going to come through, of course, and that's going to get us some health back. They probably go for a Sucker Punch here, and in the interest of stalling out the Trick Room, I'm actually going to go for another Calm Mind. So there we go, Calm Mind comes through. Just because I'm expecting the Sucker Punch, and if they don't go for a Sucker Punch, they go for an Iron Head, it's no big deal at the end of the day, you know, it's not the end of the world. They do go for an Iron Head, though, and that's going to take out Hatterene, so that's a shame. I really thought they would go for a Sucker Punch there. But if they didn't, so it's like, whatever, what can you do about that? So now we'll go into our Decidueye. Decidueye is probably the best Pokemon to go into here because it's bulky, and we can hit something with a Triple Arrows, which will have some sort of status effect of some kind. So let's go for that Triple Arrows real quick, and we'll see what they're going to do. So they do withdraw King Gambit because they don't want it to go down to a Triple Arrows, which makes a lot of sense. And they're going to go into Cresselia, which also makes a lot of sense. So Cresselia coming in is absolutely fine. Now, if this thing wants to set up screens, we have got the Defog, but it is likely that it's going to be setting up the Trick Room once again. We do get a defense drop, which is nice, and the Twisted Dimensions do return to normal, which is also nice. So we got a couple of options here. We could go Hydreigon, but if they go for a Trick Room and then they can go for a Moonblast, that's going to be a problem. So I think we're probably better off staying in and going for a Leaf Blade, but at the same time, I kind of want my Hisui and Decidueye. So I think I'm going to switch into Lycanroc right now, and I'm going to get those Stealth Rocks up. I think they're going to be useful digging into the Torkoal, for example, and also just going for an Endeavor on something potentially, or Cellarrock. So they go for a Moonblast, maybe expecting us to switch out, I don't know. We go for a Stealth Rock here, though 100% no, there's no reason not to. So we go for a Stealth Rock. They probably go for a Trick Room here, now that they know the Moonblast isn't really touching us that much. Or they go for a Psychic. They go for a Trick Room. They go for a Trick Room. So Trick Room is up. Now we are outspeared by the Cresselia, so if they want to go for a Psychic here to get some damage off, they can. I'm going to go for that Endeavor, expecting them to go for a Psychic to get some damage off. They go for a Lunar Dance. They actually go for a Lunar Dance, which is going to take them out, and then they heal whatever they bring in. So they're probably going to bring in the King Gambit right now, which is fair enough. If they bring the King Gambit in, that's fine. But both their Trick Room setters, unless Hooper has a Trick Room, I find that hard to believe, though. In comes Iron Hand. So this thing is obviously a big threat to my Lycanroc. That's for sure. As they're going to get no recovery thanks to not having any damage done to them. They're going to get a Quark Drive boost in attack, which is terrifying. So that is pretty scary right there. We do not have a good switch in at all to this thing. So we might have to just let Lycanroc go down. Let's go for an Accelerock just to get some chip damage off on it, because chip damage is always nice, but they'll probably go for a Drain Punch anyway, as they go for a Swords Dance. So Swords Dance comes through. Swords Dance comes through. They're going to set up Swords Dance all over my face, but we are stalling out the Trick Room, which is important. So now, assuming they're going to go for another Swords Dance, I'm actually going to go for a close combat here. They do go for a Drain Punch, though, which is going to take us out. So down goes Lycanroc, which is unfortunate, as they do get all their health back. So it wouldn't have mattered if we went for an Accelerock, because they would have got all their health back regardless. So now we've got an Iron Hands in Trick Room to deal with. And it's got a Swords Dance and also a booster energy and attack. We have got a bit of a predicament on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. A bit of a predicament. So Trick Room is going to wear off this next turn. That's for sure, I think. So we could go into Gyarados. We could set up a Dragon Dance and go for an Earthquake after Terra Dragoning, being resistant to the Thunder Punch that's coming. Or we could go into our... So we're going to bring in Gyarados. Now, it's probably pretty obvious what we're about to do, that we're going to Terra into something that can take a Electric type move. It's probably pretty obvious. They might go for a Drain Punch. It's really hard to tell, but I'm going to play this safe. I'm going to play safe, and I'm going to go for a Terra Dragon Dance right now, and hopefully that'll do me just fine. So there we go. We're going to Terrestrialize into a Dragon type, hoping that they go for a Thunder Punch and not a Drain Punch, predicting the Terra. Even though it is pretty obvious what we're going to do. They might not predict it. They might go for the safe play of Thunder Punch, because they're at +3 attack at the end of the day. They go for an Ice Punch. They go for an Ice Punch, predicting the Terra. This is the second game in a row where I've been Terra Red like that. That's crazy. Absolutely nuts. So the Twisted Dimensions do return to normal, so we've got a bit of a vantage point. But they are just going to go for a Drain Punch and get all their health back. So I'm kind of leaning towards, like, maybe we're not going to win this one, but we still have some tricks up our bag. We've got all Hooters over here who can go for a Triple Arrow, which can flinch and can lower defense and can be a critical hit. So let's go for a Triple Arrows, and let's just hope for the best. Triple Arrows comes through. It's going to do a decent bit of chip damage, and it gets the defense drop, which is nice. It also gets the flinch, which is nice, which means this next Triple Arrows is going to do even more damage, which means hopefully they don't recover as much HP, and we can take this thing out with an Earth Power, hopefully. So they go for a Drain Punch, which is going to take out Hisui and Decidueye, of course. How much health is it going to restore, though? Is it going to restore all of it? Pretty much all of it, yeah. That's unfortunate. So down goes Hooters, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Now we'll go into Infernape, and we'll go for an Overheat. So I'll bring in Azula, and we'll go for an Overheat, and then we'll bring in Hydreigon, and we'll just start spamming Earth Powers, because Earth Power could do a lot of damage to something. So let's go for an Overheat real quick and hope for the best. So they are going to withdraw, but probably because Infernape is usually physical and it can carry Earthquake, and they have got a defense drop, so they're probably thinking, right, like, what can we do here? So let's go into Torkoal, apparently. So Torkoal comes in, he gets some Sticky Web damage, Stealth Rock damage, my apologies. We get the Drought up, which is going to boost our Overheat's power, which is actually really cool. As there we go, Overheat's going to nearly take out the Torkoal, putting it in range for an Aura Sphere to finish it off. So we're not too bad. The Iron Hands has lost its booster energy now, so we're in a bit of a better position, but I don't think we win in this. So we go for an Aura Sphere, which is obviously going to take out the Torkoal from there. And we got another KO, which is nice. So this is actually starting to be a bit of a game changer right now. So Infernape coming in with a special set is looking pretty good right now. In comes the Hooper. So Hooper is obviously a big threat right now. It's going to go for probably a Psychic type move to finish us off. I want to go Hydreigon. I'm going to go Hydreigon. It's probably my only play. They could easily go for a Drain Punch to finish us off, but I'm hoping for the best here. So Maleficent's going to come in. There we go. And let's hope for the best here. Let's really hope for the best. So they go for a Psychic, which is great. Psychic is fantastic. So we can actually go for a U-turn here, which is 4 times super effective, and hopefully get some serious damage on this thing. So we go for a U-turn. They do stay in. They nearly go down to the U-turn, and that's like no attack investment, timid nature U-turn right there. It's purely for utility. So let's go into Infernape, and hopefully they don't go for a Psychic right now. Hopefully they don't go for a Psychic right now. That'd be nice. They go for a Trick Room. So Trick Room comes through. Now things just took a 180 and have become terrifying. So we have got a priority move in Vacuum Wave, so we're going to make this a bit of a closer game. But now that they've got Trick Room up one more time, it might be over. It might be over. But I'm still holding hope that Infernape and Hydreigon can pull this out. So Harsh Sunlight does fade, which is unfortunate because it means the overheat power has gone down. But we might be alright. In comes the Iron Hands. So this thing is a threat. Obviously, it's a big threat, especially in Trick Room, which it is. It's going to get that Lunar Dance from earlier. Was that Lunar Dance? Yeah, the healing... Oh, no, that's the Healing Wish. Never mind. They got the Healing Wish from earlier. It's weird how that mechanic works now. And they also got the Lunar Dance as well. All in one go. But then the stones are going to dig in, and we're off to a better start. So, I have got Solar Beam for the meme with Power Herb, but I'm leaning towards Overheat just purely and simply for the fact that this thing is a threat. So let's go for an Overheat real quick, and let's hope we live this Drain Punch. We do live the Drain Punch, which is nice. We do live the Drain Punch, which is nice, which means we get off a clean Overheat, which is great as long as we don't miss. We don't miss, which is nice. Overheat's going to come through and do well over half to the Iron Hands, which is fantastic. And then we've got one more turn, and then we've got Vacuum Wave off. So Vacuum Wave doesn't KO, but it sets the stage for Hydreigon to come through. Hydreigon might be able to finish this thing off. It might just be able to do this. It depends on how many more turns of Trick Room we've got. I think we've got one more. I think we might actually lose it. Let's find out. Let's bring Hydreigon in and find out how many turns of Trick Room we've got left. There we go. Hydreigon comes in. Can we lose the Trick Room this turn? No, we don't. We don't lose the Trick Room. They've got one more turn of it. One more turn of that Trick Room. If they didn't have one more turn of it, we could have actually pulled this back with Earth Power. But unfortunately, Hydreigon's going to go down to a Drain Punch. And that is going to be the game. So GG, Glass Shadow. That was actually a pretty fun one. It looked a bit like we were really going to lose earlier. And then we managed to pull it back a bit. And then obviously we still lost because they've got the Iron Hands and the King Gambit and all that, and some really powerful members of the team, which is, you know, really well played by my opponent. They pulled off a Trick Room team in singles, which is actually really hard to do. So really well played by my opponent. Great team, great battle. Really enjoyed that one. But anyway, here is the team. If you want to try it out, use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.